Time now for your forecast first. WRBL News 3 First Alert Weather.
Okay, so here we go. We're looking at the clouds building, and the rain is coming on back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look hour by hour. We see the clouds here, showers coming in late tonight and right through the early overnight. Some thunderstorms will probably awaken you, being shaken awake by a little rumble of thunder or two. We're looking at some disruptive weather in the early part of the morning, just spotty showers right outside of Casita. But here's the deal. Once these showers come in, there'll be a line building from the southwest to northeast. So that's where it's going to be wet for that commute, and then some improvements temporarily. Then we'll talk about a weather-aware weekend coming up in your First Alert forecast. You're watching WRBL News 3 on your side.
Straight ahead with former Senator David Perdue challenging Governor Kemp next year. What kind of divide might that create for the Republican Party in Georgia? We went searching for answers.
Next, Troup County is welcoming a new district commissioner who was sworn in today.
Plus, an East Alabama teacher shares her long road to recovery after battling COVID-19. News 3 First Edition starts right now.
On your side, this is News 3 First Edition.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for trusting News 3. I'm Teresa Whitaker.
And I'm Phil Scoggins. Former Senator David Perdue's decision to challenge Governor Brian Kemp in the gubernatorial primary is highlighting a divide among Georgia Republicans.
News 3's Chuck Williams is here to tell us the impact this could have on grassroots Republicans. Chuck.
Teresa, Phil, Georgia Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan puts the race in perspective, and it could be a harsh reality for the Georgia GOP. Jeff Duncan was a professional baseball player long before he became a politician. And here's how he describes the Brian Kemp-David Perdue primary.
The Braves playing the Mets, and it would be like the Braves in a fist fight in the locker room or in the dugout right before the first pitch is thrown, right? That would be what I equate this to. And you're showing the whole stadium, you're showing the other team that you can't be on the same page. And
it comes with fallout.
And it's brutal. It gives the other side more energy. It gives, and then you got the other teammates that are confused as to which side to take.
Just ask Muskogee County Republican Party Chairman Alton Russell where he stands on Perdue Kemp. Who will you support?
Oh, I'm going to support the nominee after the primary.
Who will you vote for in the primary?
Oh, I can't tell you that. I'm not going to take a position on that. That wouldn't be anything to get me in trouble. Yeah.
Russell is like a lot of grassroots Republicans. They've been key players on Team Kemp and Team Perdue. But Duncan says a complicating factor is the Republicans select an opponent for the likely Democratic nominee Stacey Abrams. The Kemp-Perdue friction is manufactured.
If you line up all the people that would day one say they support Governor Kemp, and all the Republicans that say they support David Perdue, and you line them up and you say, let's take a test as to where you stand on the policies, almost everybody agrees.
The underlying rub is former President Donald Trump. Perdue is backed by Trump. Kemp, because he followed Georgia law in the wake of the 2020 election, is in Trump's political crosshairs.
It's synthetic. It's the one issue to divide, and that's exactly what's happening. It's dividing good people, good Republicans, good conservatives.
Guys, I love a baseball analogy, and the lieutenant governor's was an interesting one. I guess the lieutenant governor was calling Stacey Abrams and the Democrats the Mets. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chuck. The Republican primary will be decided May 24th, the general election in November the 8th.
To Troup County now, where they're welcoming a new commissioner to District 5 following the death of longtime Commissioner Richard English, who served the community for over 40 years.
News 3's Amanda Peralta has the story.
LaGrange native Dr. Jimmy McCamey Jr. will be taking over the seat left by the late Troup County Commissioner Richard English. Dr. McCamey says his main priorities as he takes on this new role will be affordable housing and the conditions inside of the Troup County Jail. He says during his campaign the consistent concerns were the lack of diversity for affordable housing.
My thoughts are it's time to go to work. And so people voiced their opinion during the campaign as well as during the election. And so to be able to win 5 out of the 6 precincts, that means people really heard my message. And so I have to get to work and I have to deliver. at this point.
The chairman of the Troup County Board of Commissioners, Patrick Cruz, says he's excited to welcome Dr. McCamey to the board and intends to stand by him as they serve the citizens of Troup County. In a statement, Cruz said, quote, "Our Board of Commissioners welcome Dr. McCamey to our board. This is a big day in Troup County as Dr. McCamey follows a gentleman who served this community for 43 years. I look forward to serving with him as we serve our citizens. His new perspective will be welcomed by our board." Dr. McCamey says he is eager to take on his new role and has gotten congratulated across the state from people that worked and knew former Commissioner English. Dr. Jimmy McCamey Jr. intends to take on his new role with forward thinking while listening to the community and addressing the needs that need to be addressed. Reporting in Troup County, Amanda Peralta, WRBL News 3, on your side.
To Alabama now, qualifying for the 2022 election is open for Democrats, and Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor wasted no time filing the paperwork.
Taylor qualified this afternoon to seek his 4th term as the county's highest-ranking law enforcement officer. The 54-year-old Taylor has 3.5 decades of law enforcement experience, most of it with the Russell County Sheriff's Office.
I really think that our community and the world that we live in today has to have senior leadership in law enforcement that understands both sides of the aisle and can bridge the gap between what everybody's asking us to do.
The Alabama primary election will be held May 24th. Taylor faced opposition 12 years ago, but he had no opponent in the last 2 elections.
Taking you now to the COVID-19 recovery story, News 3's Elizabeth White sat down with a Lee County mother who is regaining her ability to walk and breathe after spending 88 days in the hospital.
The mother hopes that her story will provide hope for others who are struggling.
44-year-old Jennifer Ox is a loving wife, mother of 3 boys, grandmother, and now COVID-19 survivor.
She's the toughest person I know, strongest person I know.
Ox got sick July 3rd. A week later, she was in EAMC's ICU.
I remember having horrible trouble breathing. I couldn't breathe at all. And I do remember FaceTiming with my kids right before I went on the ventilator.
Sedated for 2 weeks, Ox then spent another 55 days on the vent, followed by inpatient rehab.
I couldn't move. I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't scratch my face. I couldn't do anything.
The muscle was completely, all of her muscle was completely gone.
I came home October 1st and had to go back in a week later because I did have clots in my lungs, and so I had to go through that procedure to have those removed.
With each setback, Faith family, her medical and physical therapy team kept her going. Ox can now stand and move using a walker.
Praise the nurses in the ICU at East Alabama. Above and beyond, every single one of them.
The couple was not vaccinated and remained unsure about getting it.
I want to talk to my primary care doctor. I want to follow up with my pulmonologist and see what they think. And go from there. We just really aren't sure.
What is solid is the love this family shares and their desire Ox's recovery will provide hope to others. Reporting in Lee County, Elizabeth White, WRBL News 3, on your side.
And we are keeping our eye on a number of other developing stories for you, starting in Columbus, where police are investigating after a shooting killed 1 person and injured another. Police say the shooting happened shortly before 8 last night on 23rd Street near Hamilton Road. Muskogee County Deputy Coroner Charles Newton confirms 32-year-old Marcus Jones was killed in the shooting. 32-year-old Jeffrey Baldwin was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The homicide unit is investigating. Anyone with information about this case is asked to call Sergeant Thomas Hill with the Columbus Police Department. This marks the 66th homicide in Columbus this year.
Our eye now takes us to Opelika, where a woman was killed after being struck by a car early this morning. Around 1:30, Opelika police responded to Pepperell Parkway near Lowndes Street in reference to a crash involving a pedestrian. Police found a 20-year-old woman who had been struck by a vehicle. The woman was pronounced dead on the scene. Police say the driver of the vehicle remained on the scene and is cooperating with investigators. The crash remains under investigation. Anyone with information is asked to call Opelika Police.
Our Eye on America tonight takes us to our nation's capital, where the President and the First Lady visited the World War II Memorial this morning. The visit to mark National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. Today marks 80 years since the attack. The wreath laid at the World War II monument contains one wild sunflower, the state flower of Kansas, in honor of the late Senator Bob Dole. The First Lady also laid a bouquet at the New Jersey pillar in honor of her father, Donald Jacobs, who served as a U.S. Navy signalman in World War II.
As we head into the break, we want to thank you again for trusting News 3.
Time now to check in with Bob.
Okay, so some spotty light showers, clouds are present, and this is our next system as it starts to build off. You can see an area low pressure will develop. It's going to swing through here late tonight and early morning, so that's the next change. We're going to be weather aware for a sloppy wet start for your Wednesday. Let's talk about our WRBL radar app too, so you can get the latest right there in your smart device, your mobile device, whatever it may be. Google Play, App Store, it's there right now.
On your side, Chief Meteorologist Bob Jeswald has your first alert forecast.
So showers increase. I'm going to jump ahead here and talk about why we're weather aware. Now, weather aware, a lot of times too, it's just that it's going to be a little disruptive. I don't like morning stuff, and I don't like when it's real heavy rain when you got to get out there and commute. But maybe this will be gone by then. But right now, depends on speed. We're going to see a ramp up. Notice the time here. This is Wednesday midnight. Showers and some storms coming in. Some of these could actually, especially by 5:30 around drive time, despite the fact that the air is cool, we're talking 40s here, okay, it's chilly, you can get some good gusts along this line. Now, this is for our East Alabama viewers first at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern, where the rain is coming down quite heavily right along the Interstate 85 area. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, a lot of construction there, right from exit 62 all the way back, so keep that in mind. How about Interstate 185 South coming into Fort Benning? How about US 80 here? Let's talk about it. It comes rolling through right through that whole morning commute. Slow down morning. Simple. Slow down morning, allow enough time morning. That's what Wednesday morning's all about. The afternoon, aha. We got some sunshine for you looking nice. Look how it clears here, especially at 3. So we'll go all sun in the afternoon. And in Thursday, looking good. We're going to see mostly sunny skies, partly sunny as we get in the afternoon. And that'll continue to build there with the clouds. Friday, there's going to be a smattering of a shower or two, kind of a little precursor of what's going on. May see a little bit more activity. We're going to watch that north central Alabama and north Georgia. But we'll keep an eye on that. But right now, our focus is this Colorado storm starting to blow up here. We kind of call it in its kind of genesis forms when it starts to begin and it starts to really ramp up when it comes in the plain states. That's what we got to watch out for, and there's going to be a considerable warm-up ahead of this. 2 little factors we got to watch out for. The Storm Prediction Center is not saying anything about this. It's going to be disruptive in some way, regardless. I'm sure they'll adjust that coming up. So let's talk about these temperatures today. A nice chilly day, right? It was comfortable 57-45 for December after having a warmer day yesterday. We had those 70s, but 62 is the average high, so you can see how it shapes up. And that forecast map is showing us how the rain starts to build in here. That's your tomorrow morning commute. That's just a closer view of what we're looking at tomorrow, so you get an idea what's up in that first alert forecast. So what are we looking at here for rain? Measurable rain, that's for sure. Half-inch greater, maybe a little over an inch of rain. That's about it in the first alert forecast. And those lows tonight with the showers coming in the low to mid-50s, maybe some 60s out there. So we have to keep that in mind in the first alert day planner. So we're going to have a stormy start, a wet commute while we're weather aware there. 60s, great afternoon. Okay, will be some sunshine there. The models are doing a poor job there. But look for that Sunday afternoon. Weather aware in the morning for wet travel. Friday, few showers. Upper 70s on Saturday. Oh, no. Saturday's got to be watched, especially weather aware here. We get in the afternoon. That's a big deal, and I want to focus on that in a very early Sunday morning. So be aware that Saturday can change a little bit, that timing. But now we're looking at that afternoon for that to be a little bit more vigorous. So stay tuned with us. Send it back to you, Phil and Teresa.
All right. Thank you, Bob. A digital exclusive show continues tonight on WRBL.com.
It's the Chuck Williams Show. Tonight he sits down with Dr. David Stallion, the pastor of Mount Pilgrim Baptist Church here in Columbus. They'll talk about the church's 137-year-old history in the city and its new location currently under construction.
You can watch them streaming tonight, 7/6 Central on WRBL.com.
Meanwhile, stick with us here on WRBL News 3.
We are back in 3 minutes.
On your side, you're watching WRBL News 3 First Edition.
Paratroopers jumped today at Fort Benning to bring a better Christmas to less fortunate children in our community.
Families gathered to watch as parachutes fill the sky. 304 paratroopers jumped, each one bringing a toy, and in return, they were awarded International Jump Wings. Participants included members of the Australian and Canadian Army. After 2 years at Fort Benning, Australian Army Sergeant Major Joel McMahon completed his last assignment and final statistic line jump today for a greater purpose.
And getting to represent the country in such an important day like today to help those underprivileged children is it's a real honour.
Right, Christmas. It's always a good thing when kids can wake up with something underneath the Christmas tree and something to be happy about, and really be thankful there's folks that are out there that care.
The Army donated over 500 toys that will go to Santa's Castle on post and the Salvation Army.
And if you're ready to spread some holiday cheer, come join us for our 4th stop on the Holiday Heroes campaign tomorrow.
Our team will be at Rivertown Ford on Whittlesey Boulevard in Columbus, Wednesday, December 8th. We'll be accepting your donations of new or gently used cold weather gear for Valley Rescue Mission.
We will also be accepting new unwrapped toys for Santa's Castle at Fort Benning, and we hope to see you there.
You're watching News 3 First Edition.
Bob will have a final check of that forecast when we come back.
Hurt by a big truck? 1-800-CALL-KEN.
One call, that's all.
On your side, you're watching WRBL News 3 First Edition.
International Women's Month is coming up in March, and WRBL wants to recognize the important contributions that women have made to our nation and to our local communities.
Remarkable Women is part of a nationwide Nexstar Media initiative to honor the influence that women have had on public policy, social progress, and quality of life.
Please nominate a woman. To do that, all you have to do is fill out the nomination form on WRBL.com. Now let's go to Bob for a final check of our forecast.
That's remarkable. We've got a lot of great women here, but you can see tomorrow morning a stormy start and a stormy weekend ahead, Phil and Teresa.
All right, thanks so much, Bob.
And we thank you for watching News 3 First Edition, The Andy Griffith Show, coming your way next.
We'll see you back here at the top of the hour.